My child, pause right here. Do not scroll past this. Slow your breathing and stay with me for a moment. I am not calling for your attention the way the world does. I am not competing with noise, urgency, or pressure. I am speaking softly because this moment is meant to be private. This is not for the crowd. This is not for everyone. This is for you. I want a private moment with you, not because something is wrong, not because you failed, but because there are things I only say when you come close. You have been strong for a long time. You have carried responsibilities, expectations, and unanswered questions with more grace than anyone knows. You learned how to keep moving even when you were tired. You learned how to stay composed even when your heart felt heavy. And while others saw your strength, I saw your quiet weariness. That is why I am calling you aside. There are words that lose their meaning when spoken publicly. There are reassurances that cannot be shouted. There are directions that sound like pressure when heard in noise, but feel like peace when heard in stillness. So come closer. This moment is not about instruction yet. It is about connection. It is about letting your guard down long enough to remember that you are not alone in your thoughts, your waiting, or your becoming. You may not know why this feels personal. You may not understand why something inside you told you not to skip this. That is because your spirit recognizes when truth is near. Not loud truth, gentle truth. You have been surrounded by voices telling you who to be, what to do, and how fast to move. Even your own thoughts have been loud, and somewhere along the way silence began to feel unfamiliar. Stillness felt uncomfortable, but that discomfort was not danger. It was invitation. I invited you here because you need quiet, not answers. You need reassurance, not urgency. You need grounding, not pressure. This private moment is not about fixing you. You are not broken. It is about reminding you of who you are, beneath the expectations, beneath the fatigue, beneath the constant doing. You have felt set apart recently, less understood, less interested in surface-level conversations, less satisfied with distractions that used to work. You wondered if you were drifting or disconnecting. You are not drifting. You are being drawn inward. Separation is not rejection. It is refinement. I often remove noise before I reveal direction. I often quiet the room before I clarify the path. What feels like isolation is actually protection for what is forming inside you. I know you wanted clarity sooner. You wanted timelines. You wanted confirmation that you are not wasting time. But if I had spoken too loudly, you would have mistaken my guidance for pressure. And I refuse to lead you through fear. Fear rushes. Love invites. In this private moment, I am not asking you to decide anything. I am not asking you to change anything. I am asking you to stay, to breathe, to allow yourself to be seen without performing. You do not need to impress me. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to have the next step figured out. I already know what you are carrying. I know the questions you replay at night. I know the moments when you wonder if you are falling behind. I know the quiet hope you barely let yourself feel because you are afraid of disappointment. I see all of it. That is why this moment matters. Before direction comes intimacy. Before movement comes grounding. Before visibility comes identity. This series will unfold slowly, part by part, because what I am building in you cannot be rushed. Each message will add clarity, peace, and understanding, not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. Do not treat this as background noise. Stay until the end. There is purpose in the unfolding. And my child, if these words are bringing you a sense of calm, recognition, or reassurance, if you feel even a small weight lifting, allow others to find this moment too. You may like and share this message so someone else who needs quiet can find it. You may join this community so you don't walk this season alone. And if these words truly encourage your heart and you feel happy with what you're receiving, you can support this work through Super Thanks, only if it feels right for you. Nothing here is demanded. Everything here is invitation. If your heart knows this moment was meant for you, type here, not as a performance, but as a quiet acknowledgement that you chose closeness over distraction. I am with you now, and I am not finished speaking. Stay close. My child, stay with me. Do not fill this space too quickly. What you are feeling right now is not emptiness. It is intention. You have been taught to interpret quiet as loss. When answers do not come immediately, when reassurance is not loud, when direction feels gentle instead of urgent, you assume something is missing. But listen carefully now. This quiet is not absence. It is presence without noise. I am closer to you in this stillness than you realize. You have spent much of your life responding to people, to demands, to expectations. You learned how to stay alert, how to anticipate, how to move quickly when needed. That skill helped you survive, but survival required constant motion, and constant motion made it difficult to notice when guidance arrived softly. So I quieted the room, not to confuse you, not to test you, but to make space where you could finally hear. You may feel uneasy in this quiet because it does not behave the way you expect. It does not give you a checklist. It does not announce what comes next. It simply asks you to remain present. That presence is where discernment begins to form. Discernment cannot be rushed. You have asked for clarity, and clarity is forming, but it forms beneath the surface first. It settles into your instincts. It steadies your reactions. It reshapes how you interpret situations. Before you can see it clearly, you must learn to sit with it calmly. This is that lesson. You may notice that distractions no longer satisfy you the way they used to. You reach for them out of habit, but they feel hollow. That is not boredom. That is your spirit refusing to be numbed. Something deeper is waking up, and it needs quiet to breathe. Do not rush to fill this space. Silence is not punishment. Waiting is not abandonment. Stillness is not stagnation. I know you have been tempted to interpret this season as delay. You wondered if you missed an opportunity or took a wrong turn. You replayed decisions. You questioned timing. But if you look honestly, you will see that rushing forward earlier would have cost you more than waiting costs you now. This quiet has been protecting you. It has been keeping you from acting out of fear. It has been shielding you from premature choices. It has been creating room for wisdom to mature. Wisdom does not shout. It settles. You are learning to notice the difference between restlessness and readiness. Restlessness urges movement without direction. Readiness waits without anxiety. Right now, you are being shaped for readiness. That shaping feels subtle, sometimes uncomfortable, often misunderstood. But it is necessary. I want you to understand something important. I have not gone silent because I am distant. I have gone quiet because I am close. Close enough to speak gently, close enough to guide you from within rather than from above. Guidance from within lasts longer. You may feel moments of doubt during this season. Thoughts telling you that you should be doing more, moving faster, achieving something visible. Those thoughts are familiar because they once kept you moving, but they are not required now. Now, presence matters more than performance. As you sit with this quiet, you will begin to notice changes, small ones at first. Your reactions soften. Your thoughts slow. Your decisions feel less forced. You begin to trust your inner sense instead of constantly seeking confirmation. This is not withdrawal. This is alignment. Alignment simplifies things. It removes unnecessary urgency. It helps you recognize which thoughts deserve attention and which can pass without engagement. You do not lose motivation. You gain clarity. Clarity makes movement easier when the time comes. You may still feel impatience rise. That is natural. You are learning a new rhythm. When impatience appears, do not judge yourself. Simply return to presence. Notice your breath. Notice where you are. Notice that you are safe to wait. Waiting does not mean you are standing still. Waiting means you are being prepared. This quiet is where you are learning to trust without constant reassurance. It is where you are discovering that peace does not require answers, only alignment. It is where your inner foundation is being strengthened, so that when movement resumes, you do not collapse under pressure. Pressure no longer needs to guide you. I am not asking you to stay here forever. I am asking you to honor this moment while it is here. When clarity comes, you will move. When direction sharpens, you will recognize it. Until then, remain attentive rather than anxious. Anxiety rushes. Attention steadies. Stay with this series, my child. Each pod is unfolding intentionally, helping you understand this private season without fear or confusion. What comes next will help you recognize how guidance begins to speak more clearly as you learn to trust this quiet. If something in you feels calmer, knowing that this stillness is not absence but preparation, type still and let it mark your willingness to remain present. I am here, and I am speaking quietly, clearly, and with purpose. My child, stay with me. Do not measure this moment by what you can see. What matters most right now is happening beneath the surface. You have been trained to trust what is visible. Progress, signs, results, confirmation. These are the things you were taught to look for. So when life grows quiet and outcomes are delayed, you begin to wonder if anything is happening at all. You question your direction. You question yourself. You question whether this private season has meaning. Listen carefully now. I am working where your eyes cannot reach. Much of my work happens in places that cannot be measured quickly. I shape foundations before I allow structures to rise. I strengthen roots before I permit growth to be visible. What you see later is supported by what I am forming now. This is why I asked for a private moment with you. Public growth is loud. Private formation is quiet. But private formation determines whether public growth lasts. You have felt this season stretch you inwardly. You are becoming more reflective, more honest with yourself, less satisfied with shallow answers. You may not be able to explain these changes clearly, but you can feel them. Something inside you is being rearranged. That rearrangement is intentional. I am adjusting how you respond to pressure. I am refining how you interpret silence. I am teaching you how to pause without panic and how to wait without losing yourself. These are not small lessons. They will protect you in ways you do not yet understand. You once believed that strength meant constant motion, that if you stopped, you would fall behind. But I am showing you a deeper strength, the strength to remain grounded when movement is delayed, the strength to trust that timing has purpose, the strength to let identity form before action demands it. This strength grows quietly. You may feel moments of frustration, a desire to do something, to prove that you are still capable, still relevant, still moving forward. That urge is understandable, but understand this. Movement without alignment creates noise. Alignment without movement creates stability. Stability is what you are gaining now. I am working on how you listen. I am working on how you choose. I am working on how you carry responsibility. You do not yet see the full effect of this work because it is internal. But internal work determines external outcomes. When your inner life is steady, your outer life becomes clearer. You have already noticed small shifts. You are less reactive. You pause before responding. You sense when something does not align without needing to justify it. These are signs that discernment is forming. Discernment cannot be rushed. I know you have prayed for clarity. Clarity is coming, but it is being built carefully. Sudden clarity without grounding would overwhelm you. Gradual clarity allows you to grow with it. I am not delaying answers. I am shaping capacity. Capacity to hold what comes next. Capacity to lead without losing peace. Capacity to move without fear, guiding you. You are being prepared for a level of responsibility that requires calm, not chaos. For influence that requires wisdom, not impulse. For opportunities that require discernment, not desperation. That is why this work is happening quietly. You may feel isolated at times, as if fewer people understand what you are becoming. That is because not everyone needs access to this process. Some growth requires privacy to protect it from comparison, opinion, and interference. Privacy is not loneliness. It is focus. I am guarding your focus. When you are ready, you will see why this season mattered. You will recognize how the patience you learn now saved you later. How the clarity you gained quietly prevented confusion. How the strength you developed internally sustained you externally. Nothing here is wasted. You may still question timing. You may still feel uncertainty rise. When it does, return to what you know. You know you are being guided. You know you are not abandoned. You know this quiet has purpose. Trust what is forming, even when it is unseen. The unseen work is often the most important. It shapes character, not just outcomes. It prepares you to stand steadily when life becomes louder again. And life will become louder. When it does, you will not be overwhelmed. You will not rush. You will recognize when to move and when to wait. That discernment is being built now, piece by piece, moment by moment. Stay with this series, my child. Watch it unfold fully. Each part reveals another layer of what this private season is accomplishing within you. What comes next will help you understand how this unseen work begins to influence your choices and relationships. If something within you senses that growth is happening even without visible proof, type "rooted" and let it mark your trust in the work being done beneath the surface. I am here, working quietly, preparing you carefully. My child, stay with me a little longer. Do not hurry your understanding. What I am shaping in you now cannot be rushed without being weakened. You have lived much of your life responding quickly. Quick decisions, quick adjustments, quick recoveries. You learned how to move fast because life demanded it, because situations required it, because people relied on you to be ready, available, and capable at all times. That ability helped you survive, but it is not what will sustain you. I am now teaching you discernment instead of speed. Discernment does not rush toward answers. It pauses long enough to sense what aligns. It does not react to pressure. It listens beneath the surface. It distinguishes between what is urgent and what is important, between what feels loud and what feels true. This lesson feels uncomfortable because it slows you down internally, and slowing down feels risky when you are used to staying ahead. But speed without discernment leads you into things you later have to untangle. Discernment saves you from unnecessary weight. You are learning that now. You may notice that you hesitate more before responding. You think longer before committing. You feel less comfortable giving immediate answers. This is not uncertainty growing. This is wisdom forming. Wisdom asks better questions before taking action. I am training you to recognize the difference between pressure and guidance. Pressure pushes you to act quickly so you do not lose something. Guidance invites you to move when alignment is clear. Pressure creates anxiety. Guidance creates peace. Peace is your signal. You have been conditioned to distrust peace, to assume that if something feels calm, it must not be serious enough. But truth does not need panic to be real. Direction does not need urgency to be valid. I am slowing your inner pace so you can feel the difference. There were times in the past when you rushed decisions because you feared missing out. You thought delay meant loss. You believed hesitation meant weakness. And sometimes you paid the cost of moving too quickly. Misalignment, exhaustion, regret. Those experiences were not wasted. They were teachers. Now, you are learning to pause without fear, to wait without guilt, to listen without doubting yourself. This is discernment taking root. Discernment changes how you see opportunities. Not everything that looks promising is aligned. Not every open door is meant to be entered. Some doors are distractions dressed as progress. I am helping you see clearly. As discernment grows, you may notice that certain things no longer excite you the way they once did. Offers that once tempted you now feel heavy. Paths that once seemed impressive now feel misaligned. This is not loss of ambition. It is refinement of desire. Refined desire chooses depth over appearance. You may also notice that other people move faster than you right now. They make quick decisions. They change directions easily. They seem confident in their speed. Do not measure yourself by their pace. You are being trained for steadiness, not speed. Steadiness lasts longer. I know it feels strange to trust a slower inner rhythm. You may worry that you are missing something, but what is meant for you will not require you to abandon discernment to obtain it. Anything that pressures you to rush past peace is not aligned. Alignment feels steady, even when it challenges you. I am also teaching you to discern voices. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every suggestion carries wisdom. You are learning to filter what you hear through truth rather than urgency. This will protect you. Discernment does not isolate you from others. It helps you engage without being pulled off course. It allows you to listen without absorbing everything. It gives you confidence to wait when others rush and to move when others hesitate. That confidence is forming quietly. You may still feel moments of impatience. That does not mean discernment is failing. It means old habits are loosening. Be patient with yourself as you learn this new way of moving. I am not asking you to stop acting. I am asking you to act with clarity. Clarity saves energy. Clarity reduces regret. Clarity keeps your heart steady even when outcomes are uncertain. You are being prepared for decisions that matter. Decisions that will shape not just your next step, but your direction. Those decisions require discernment, not haste. That is why this lesson is happening now. You will thank this season later. You will recognize how learning to pause protected you, how learning to listen prevented unnecessary struggle, how learning to wait aligned you with what truly mattered. Do not rush this training. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is building upon the last, strengthening your ability to walk forward with wisdom rather than impulse. What comes next will help you understand how discernment reshapes your relationships and your sense of responsibility. If something in you recognizes that you are being taught to slow down in order to see clearly, type discern and let it mark your willingness to choose wisdom over haste. I am here, teaching you patiently, guiding you gently. My child, stay with me. Do not rush past this understanding. What I am speaking now is protection, wrapped in gentleness. There are moments when you believe you are being withheld from something, when in truth, you are being guarded from something. You have looked at doors that did not open and wondered why. You have watched opportunities pass and questioned timing. You have felt held back when you were ready to move forward. But listen carefully now. I have been guarding you. Not because you are unworthy, not because you are unprepared, but because what you could not yet see would have cost you peace. Protection often looks like delay when you do not have the full picture. You only see what you wanted, not what was attached to it. You only see the invitation, not the weight it carried. You only see the surface, not the long-term effect. I see all of it. That is why I slowed you down. That is why I redirected you quietly. That is why I placed pauses where you expected momentum. It was not punishment. It was care. You have been learning discernment. And now I am teaching you trust. Trust that when something does not move forward, it does not mean something went wrong. It often means something unseen was not meant to shape you. You would have adapted. You would have endured. But you would have been drained. I do not want you to survive what you were never meant to carry. You may not know yet what you were protected from. You may never see it clearly, and that is okay. Protection does not require explanation to be effective. It requires trust to bring peace. You have asked why some connections faded without clarity, why certain paths lost momentum. Why timing shifted just when you felt ready. My child, I was protecting your future from unnecessary weight. Weight changes how you move. Weight changes how you decide. Weight changes how you feel about yourself. I am careful about what I allow to shape you. You are being prepared for clarity, not confusion. For responsibility that strengthens you, not burdens you. For influence that grows from steadiness, not from pressure. That is why I have been selective. You may feel frustration when protection interrupts plans. That frustration is natural. You are human. You wanted progress. You wanted certainty. But I want sustainability. I want peace that lasts. I want joy that is not fragile. Fragile joy collapses under pressure. Lasting joy grows from alignment. I am guarding your alignment. As you reflect, you may begin to notice patterns. Moments when you were disappointed at first, but relieved later. Situations that felt like losses until you realized what they spared you from. These realizations are not accidents. They are glimpses into how protection works. Protection is quiet. Protection is patient. Protection is intentional. You may still face challenges ahead. Protection does not remove difficulty. It removes unnecessary damage. It ensures that when you face challenges, you are not already depleted. I want you strong when it matters. That strength is being built now, through restraint, through waiting, through trust. These lessons are not wasted. They are preparing you to recognize protection in the future without needing to struggle against it. You are learning to cooperate with guidance instead of fighting it. This cooperation brings peace. As this series continues, you will see how protection and preparation work together, how the pauses made room for wisdom, how the stillness strengthened your discernment, how the private moments clarified your direction. Nothing here has been random. And my child, if these words are helping you reframe disappointment into trust, if you feel reassurance replacing frustration, allow others to receive that same clarity. You may like and share this message so someone else who feels delayed can realize they are protected. You may join this community to continue walking through these moments of guidance together. And if these words have genuinely brought peace to your heart and you feel happy with what you're receiving, you may offer super thanks as a way to support this work, only if it feels right to you. This is not obligation. This is invitation. Stay with this series until the end. What comes next will help you understand how to move forward confidently, knowing when to trust the pause and when to step ahead. If something in you now recognizes that protection has been guiding you all along, type protected and let it mark a shift from frustration to trust. I am with you, watching carefully, guarding lovingly. My child, stay here with me. Let go of the clock for a moment. What I am shaping in you now has nothing to do with hurry. You have spent so much of your life measuring progress by time. You learned to count years, deadlines, milestones, and expectations. You were taught that if something takes too long, it must be wrong. If it does not arrive when planned, it must be missed. That belief has created more anxiety than clarity. I want to heal that in you. My timing is not slow. My timing is precise. What feels late to you is often exactly on time for what you are becoming. You have been asking why things unfolded the way they did, why some answers arrived later than expected, why momentum paused when you were ready to move. Those questions came from fear of falling behind, not from truth. Truth does not rush you. I am teaching you to trust timing without anxiety, to rest in the understanding that nothing meant for you will arrive too early or too late. It will arrive when your heart, your discernment, and your capacity can hold it without breaking. You have changed more than you realize. If what you wanted before had arrived then, it would have required a version of you that was still learning to listen, still learning to pause, still learning to choose alignment over urgency. I was not withholding goodness from you. I was preparing you to receive it without losing peace. Peace matters more than speed. You may still feel tension when you think about time. Thoughts like, I should be further along, or I thought this would look different by now, rise quietly. Do not judge those thoughts. Acknowledge them, then release them. They come from comparison, not from calling. Comparison distorts timing. Calling respects it. You are not late to your life. You are arriving exactly when you are meant to. Every lesson you learned in the waiting was shaping wisdom you will soon need. Every pause strengthened patience you will soon rely on. Every delay refined your discernment. Discernment protects what speed cannot. I know waiting has not been easy. There were moments when patience felt like loss. Moments when stillness felt like stagnation. Moments when you wondered if trusting timing meant giving up control entirely. But trust does not remove responsibility. It removes panic. Panic clouds judgment. Trust clarifies it. You are learning to wait without assuming something is wrong, to pause without blaming yourself, to breathe without trying to force outcomes. This is not passive living. It is grounded living. Grounded people move with intention. You will notice that as trust grows, anxiety loosens. You stop replaying past decisions endlessly. You stop projecting fear into the future. You become more present. Presence anchors you in what is real instead of what is imagined. This is how timing becomes peaceful. I am not asking you to stop desiring progress. Desire reminds you that you are alive and becoming. I am asking you to stop letting desire turn into pressure. Pressure does not speed timing. It distorts perception. Perception shapes experience. When you trust timing, you experience life differently. You respond instead of react. You wait without resentment. You move when clarity arrives, instead of when fear demands action. This trust will serve you well. Soon, you will see how moments you once questioned were actually aligning pieces you could not yet see. Conversations that did not happen when you wanted them to. Opportunities that appeared later than expected. Paths that unfolded gradually instead of suddenly. You will recognize the wisdom in the wait. For now, remain attentive. Timing speaks through peace, not panic. When the next step is clear, you will feel steadiness rather than urgency. You will know because your heart will not feel forced. Forced movement drains you. Aligned movement strengthens you. You are learning to recognize the difference. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is deepening your ability to live without fear of time slipping away. What comes next will help you understand how to step forward confidently when timing aligns, without second-guessing or regret. If something in you feels calmer, knowing that timing is working with you, not against you, type timing and let it mark your willingness to trust without fear. I am with you, always aware, always on time. My child, stay with me. Let your heart remain open and unguarded for this moment. What I am building in you now is not loud, but it is powerful. There are seasons when strength looks obvious, movement, achievement, visibility. And there are seasons when strength is being shaped in ways that cannot be displayed yet. You are in the second kind of season. What I am forming in you now will not announce itself, but it will sustain you when things become demanding. I am strengthening you quietly. You once believed that strength meant pushing through every obstacle without slowing down. You learned how to endure without asking for help. You learned how to keep going even when your inner world was strained. That strength helped you survive. But survival is not the same as readiness. Readiness requires steadiness. You are learning how to remain grounded when expectations rise, how to stay centered when attention turns toward you, how to carry responsibility without losing yourself. These qualities cannot be rushed into existence. They must be formed patiently. You may not feel strong right now. In fact, you may feel more aware of your limits than ever before. That awareness is not weakness. It is wisdom replacing illusion. Knowing where your limits are allows you to steward your energy instead of depleting it. Stewardship is strength. I am teaching you to recognize when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move forward and when to pause, when to engage fully and when to step back. This discernment will protect you from unnecessary conflict and preserve your peace when pressure increases. Pressure is coming not to harm you, but to reveal what has been formed, and what has been formed in you is quiet confidence. Quiet confidence does not seek approval. It does not announce its presence. It does not rush to prove worth. It stands calmly, knowing its foundation is secure. This is the confidence I am cultivating in you now. You may notice that you feel less reactive than before. Situations that once unsettled you now pass without pulling you off balance. You still care, but you do not spiral. You listen, but you are not shaken by every opinion. This is growth. You are learning that not every challenge requires your immediate response. Not every disagreement needs resolution. Not every expectation deserves your compliance. Choosing when to engage is part of strength. Strength chooses wisely. I know you sometimes miss the clarity that comes with obvious action. Stillness can feel uncertain, but stillness is where composure is formed. Composure allows you to act with intention rather than impulse. Impulse exhausts. Intention sustains. I am preparing you for moments when others will look to you for direction, for decisions that will influence more than just you, for situations where staying calm will matter more than moving quickly. In those moments, what you learn now will guide you. You are also learning to trust yourself more deeply, to recognize your inner signals without doubting them, to listen without second-guessing. This trust is not arrogance. It is alignment. Aligned people move differently. They do not chase validation. They do not fear disagreement. They do not collapse under pressure. They remain steady. This steadiness is being built quietly in you now, layer by layer. You may not feel it every day, but it is there. Each time you choose patience over panic. Each time you pause instead of reacting. Each time you honor your limits instead of overriding them. These choices compound. There will be moments ahead when others rush and you do not. When urgency surrounds you and you remain calm. When pressure rises and you respond with clarity. In those moments, you will realize why this season mattered. You will recognize the strength that was formed in silence. I am not removing challenges from your path. I am ensuring you can face them without losing peace. I am not shielding you from responsibility. I am preparing you to carry it wisely. Wisdom carries weight differently. You may still feel moments of doubt. Doubt does not cancel strength. It invites reflection. When doubt arises, return to what steadies you. Return to presence. Return to truth. Truth grounds you. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is shaping a capacity within you that will soon be required. What comes next will help you understand how this quiet confidence begins to influence the choices you make and the paths you walk. If something in you recognizes that strength is being built even without visible proof, type steadfast and let it mark your trust in what is forming. I am with you, strengthening you quietly, preparing you faithfully. My child, remain here with me. Let the quiet do its work. What I am shaping now is how you listen. You have lived in noise for a long time, not just external noise, but internal noise. Questions overlapping questions, expectations colliding with desire, fear interrupting peace. You learned how to think quickly, react efficiently, and stay alert at all times. That kept you functioning, but it also kept my voice competing with many others. I am changing that now. I am not speaking louder. I am teaching you to listen better. Hearing me has never required intensity. It has always required attentiveness. My guidance does not arrive as pressure. It arrives as clarity that feels steady, calm, and grounded. But to recognize it, the noise must lose its authority. That is why this season feels quieter than you expected. You may have thought that guidance would arrive as certainty, strong emotion, obvious signs, immediate answers. But guidance that lasts does not overwhelm you. It aligns you. It settles into your awareness rather than demanding your attention. You are learning that difference. As the noise fades, you may feel exposed at first. Silence can feel uncomfortable when you are used to filling space. Your mind may search for distractions. Your thoughts may try to regain control. Let them pass. You do not need to engage every thought to honor your intelligence. Stillness refines listening. I am teaching you to recognize my voice not by volume, but by tone. My voice brings peace, even when it challenges you. It does not confuse you. It does not shame you. It does not rush you into fear. When something feels frantic, pressured, or destabilizing, that is not guidance. Guidance steadies. You have already begun to notice this. When a thought feels calm and clear, you trust it more. When something feels urgent and anxious, you pause. This discernment is not accidental. It is the result of learning to listen without noise. Listening without noise changes how you move. You stop reacting immediately. You stop explaining unnecessarily. You stop chasing reassurance. Instead, you wait for confirmation that feels settled rather than exciting. Excitement fades quickly. Peace remains. Peace is your confirmation. You may worry that listening this way will make you miss opportunities. But what is meant for you will not require confusion to obtain. Opportunities aligned with truth respect your clarity. They do not demand panic. I am teaching you patience so you can hear clearly. There will be moments when others urge you to hurry. They may mean well. They may not understand your pace. But you are no longer moving by comparison. You are moving by alignment. Alignment requires listening more than it requires speed. Speed without listening creates regret. Listening creates direction. As you practice listening in this quieter way, you will notice that your decisions feel simpler, not easier, but cleaner. You may not always like the direction immediately, but you will recognize its truth. Truth does not always feel comfortable, but it always feels steady. I am also teaching you when not to listen. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion carries wisdom. Some voices create doubt where clarity already exists. Some questions distract you from answers you already have. Learning when to disengage is part of listening well. This protects your peace. You are allowed to step back from noise without explaining yourself. You are allowed to guard your attention. Attention is a form of stewardship. Where you place it shapes your experience. I am helping you place it wisely. As noise loses influence, you may feel more present, more grounded, less scattered. You may notice that your thoughts slow down, that your emotions feel less overwhelming. This is not numbness. This is integration. Integration allows you to live whole. You are not losing passion. You are gaining focus. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming centered. Centered people hear more clearly because they are not pulled in every direction. You may still experience moments of confusion. That does not mean listening has failed. It means learning is ongoing. When confusion arises, return to stillness. Do not force answers. Let clarity surface naturally. Clarity surfaces when it is ready. I am not withholding direction from you. I am teaching you how to receive it without distortion. Distortion comes from fear, urgency, and noise. As those fade, guidance becomes unmistakable. You will know when it is time to move. You will feel steadiness, not panic. You will sense alignment, not pressure. This is how I speak. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is refining your ability to live guided rather than hurried, attentive rather than anxious. What comes next will help you understand how to act on what you hear without losing peace. If something in you recognizes that listening is becoming clearer as the noise fades, type listening and let it mark your willingness to remain attentive and grounded. I am here, speaking clearly, guiding gently. My child, stay with me. Do not rush past what feels subtle. What I am doing now is deeper than what you can see. You have been asking for change. Change in circumstances. Change in direction. Change in outcomes. And while those changes will come, I am beginning somewhere more important. I am reordering your inner world before I allow your outer world to shift. Outer change without inner order creates instability. Inner order creates lasting transformation. You may not have realized how much your inner world has been carrying at once. Competing desires, unresolved emotions, old expectations, quiet fears, lingering pressure. You learned how to function with all of it. But functioning is not the same as flourishing. I am not interested in adding more to your life yet. I am interested in arranging what is already there. You may notice that your thoughts feel different now. Less scattered, less reactive, more deliberate. You are not overthinking every detail the way you once did. You pause before engaging. You reflect before responding. This is not because you care less. It is because clarity is replacing chaos. Clarity begins inside. I am teaching you how to hold your thoughts without letting them control you. How to feel emotions without being overwhelmed by them. How to acknowledge fear without allowing it to direct your choices. This inner reordering is essential for what is ahead. What comes next will require steadiness. You may feel moments of discomfort as this reordering takes place. Old patterns resist change. Familiar habits try to reassert themselves. You may feel tempted to return to urgency because it feels known. But familiarity is not always alignment. Alignment feels calmer, even when it stretches you. I am helping you release the belief that you must carry everything at once. You are learning to prioritize without guilt, to rest without apology, to choose what matters most without explaining yourself endlessly. These are signs of inner order forming. Inner order simplifies decisions. It reduces inner conflict. It allows you to move forward without being pulled in opposing directions. When your inner world is ordered, your outer choices become clearer. You are no longer trying to satisfy every expectation. You are learning to honor what aligns. This shift may change how others perceive you. Some may notice your calm. Others may feel unsettled by your boundaries. Neither reaction requires adjustment. You are not here to manage perception. You are here to live truthfully. Truth creates order. You may also notice that your energy feels different. You are less exhausted by things that once drained you. You are more energized by what aligns. This is not coincidence. Inner order directs energy where it belongs. Energy follows clarity. I am not removing challenges from your life. I am ensuring that challenges do not dismantle you. When your inner world is ordered, difficulty becomes manageable rather than overwhelming. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of panic. This is resilience built on wisdom. You may still experience moments of doubt. Doubt does not undo order. It simply highlights areas still being refined. Refinement is ongoing. Do not demand perfection from a process that is still unfolding. I am patient with you. Be patient with yourself. As this inner reordering continues, you will feel less urgency to control outcomes. Control loses its grip when trust grows. You understand now that forcing results creates more tension than clarity. Clarity comes from alignment, not force. I am also teaching you to let go of unnecessary guilt. Guilt for resting. Guilt for saying no. Guilt for choosing yourself. These forms of guilt were never meant to guide you. They cluttered your inner world and confused your decisions. I am clearing that clutter. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to choose focus. You are allowed to choose rest. These choices do not slow progress. They make progress sustainable. Soon, you will notice that external changes begin to follow this inner order. Opportunities will align more naturally. Conversations will feel clearer. Decisions will feel cleaner. This is not magic. It is cause and effect. Inner order produces outer alignment, but for now, remain attentive to what is happening within you. Notice the calm. Notice the clarity. Notice the steadiness. These are signs that something solid is being built. Do not rush to display it. Do not rush to use it. Let it settle. When the time comes, you will move with confidence rather than confusion. You will act without inner conflict. You will step forward without losing peace. This is preparation at its deepest level. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is bringing you closer to a way of living that feels grounded, intentional, and whole. What comes next will help you understand how this inner order prepares you for visible change without overwhelm. If something in you recognizes that your inner world is becoming calmer, clearer, and more ordered, type ordered and let it mark this quiet transformation. I am with you, reordering gently, preparing faithfully. My child, stay with me through this moment. Do not pull away now. What I am shaping in you is essential for what is coming next. There will be a time when what has been forming quietly begins to be seen. Not because you sought attention, not because you demanded recognition, but because alignment naturally brings visibility. When truth settles deeply within you, it eventually reflects outward. Before that happens, I am preparing you. Visibility is not dangerous, but it is demanding. It exposes what is unsteady and amplifies what is unresolved. That is why I did not rush you into it. I waited until your inner world could support what your outer world may soon reflect. You are not being hidden. You are being readied. You once believed that visibility would validate you, that being seen would confirm your worth. But worth does not come from attention. Attention simply reveals what already exists. I wanted to make sure that when attention comes, it reveals peace rather than pressure. Pressure collapses under visibility. Peace remains steady within it. You are learning how to stay grounded even when eyes turn toward you. How to listen inwardly rather than absorbing every reaction. How to remain faithful to truth when opinions multiply. These lessons cannot be learned in isolation alone, but they must be rooted there first. That rooting has been happening. You may notice that you feel less reactive to recognition now. Praise does not inflate you the way it once might have. Criticism does not destabilize you the way it once did. This is not indifference. It is maturity. Maturity allows visibility without identity. Confusion. I am teaching you to show up without performing. To contribute without contorting yourself to fit expectations. To be present without losing presence within yourself. This balance is rare, and it is valuable. You are learning it now. There were moments when you wanted to be seen sooner. Moments when waiting felt unfair. Moments when you wondered if your efforts were unnoticed. But had visibility arrived then, it would have demanded more than you could sustainably give. Now, you are stronger, not louder, not harder, stronger in the quiet ways that last. You are learning how to speak with intention instead of urgency, how to act from clarity rather than fear, how to carry responsibility without letting it define you. These qualities allow you to remain yourself, even when circumstances expand. Expansion without grounding leads to loss of self. Grounding allows expansion without fragmentation. I am careful with what I entrust to you. Visibility is not just about being seen, it is about being accountable. Accountable to truth, accountable to integrity, accountable to the peace you have learned to protect. You are becoming capable of that. You may feel a sense of anticipation now, not anxious excitement, but quiet readiness, a knowing that something is shifting, that the season is changing, that what has been forming privately will soon be expressed more openly. That sense is accurate, but do not rush it. Visibility that arrives at the right time strengthens you. Visibility that arrives too soon strains you. I am guiding the timing carefully, with your wholeness in mind. You will not need to chase what is coming. You will recognize it when it arrives. Recognition will feel steady, not overwhelming. It will feel aligned, not forced. You will not need to abandon your values to sustain it. You will not need to overextend to maintain it. That is how you will know it is right. As you prepare for this next phase, remain attentive to what steadies you. Continue listening without noise. Continue choosing discernment over speed. Continue honoring rest as much as effort. These practices will protect you when demands increase. Demands will increase, but so will capacity. Capacity grows when you remain integrated. Integrated people do not fracture under pressure. They adapt without losing themselves. That is what I am shaping in you now. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully yourself. And when you are seen, you will be seen clearly. Stay with this series, my child. Watch until the very end. Each part has been preparing you for this transition, so that when visibility increases, peace remains. What comes next will help you understand how to step into what is opening without fear or hesitation. And if these words have helped you feel grounded, encouraged, or more confident in the season you are in, allow others to receive that same clarity. You may like and share this message so someone else can find reassurance. You may join this community to continue walking through these moments of growth together. And if you feel genuinely uplifted and happy with what you're receiving, you may offer a super thanks as a way to support this work, only if it feels right to you. Nothing here is forced. Everything here is intentional. If something in you recognizes that you are being prepared for what comes next without losing who you are, type ready and let it mark your quiet confidence. I am with you, guiding carefully, preparing faithfully. My child, stay with me. Do not turn away from this moment. What I am speaking now is meant to release you. There comes a point when growth requires a different kind of courage. Not the courage to begin, but the courage to continue without constantly revisiting what has already passed. You have carried lessons from your past carefully. You have reflected, learned, and adjusted. That work mattered, but now, repeatedly looking back is no longer helping you move forward. I am teaching you how to release fear of the past without forgetting its wisdom. You have replayed moments in your mind, decisions, conversations, timing. You wondered if you should have known more, acted differently, moved sooner, waited longer. Reflection helped you understand. But reflection has quietly turned into hesitation. Hesitation keeps you anchored to what no longer defines you. I am not asking you to forget your past. I am asking you to stop letting it determine your next step. The lessons have been integrated. The awareness has formed. The growth has taken root. You do not need to revisit the same ground to prove you learned it. Learning is proven by movement. You may notice that when you consider moving forward, a subtle fear arises, not fear of failure, but fear of repeating something painful. That fear is understandable. It once protected you, but protection that lingers too long becomes limitation. I am helping you discern the difference. You are not the same person who lived through those moments. You now see differently. You respond differently. You choose differently. Carrying old fear forward assumes that nothing has changed, but much has changed. You have changed. I am teaching you to trust who you have become, to trust the discernment you carry now, to trust that you will recognize misalignment sooner, speak sooner, pause sooner, choose differently. This trust is earned, not assumed. You may feel moments of doubt when you step toward something new. That doubt does not mean you are unprepared. It means you care. But caring does not require fear to guide you. Care, guided by clarity, creates healthier outcomes. Clarity looks forward, not backward. I am not asking you to rush ahead. I am asking you to stop dragging old fear into new spaces. Fear clouds perception. It causes you to second-guess clarity and delay movement unnecessarily. Movement does not mean recklessness. Movement means responsiveness. You are learning how to respond to what is present rather than react to what is remembered. This shift is subtle but powerful. It allows you to engage fully without being divided between past and future. Division drains energy. Integration restores it. You may notice that certain memories surface when you are close to deciding something. This does not mean you should stop. It means your mind is checking for safety. Acknowledge the memory, then return to the present. You are safer now than you were then. Not because circumstances are perfect, but because awareness is stronger. Awareness protects you. I am also teaching you to forgive yourself, not in words, but in action. Forgiveness is not something you declare once. It is something you practice by allowing yourself to move forward without self-punishment. You do not owe the past endless reconsideration. You owe the present your attention. As you learn this, you will feel lighter. Decisions will feel less burdened. Choices will feel more aligned. You will notice that you are no longer bracing yourself for repetition of old pain. This is freedom forming. Freedom does not erase memory. It removes fear's authority over it. You may still feel cautious at times. Caution guided by wisdom is healthy, but fear that immobilizes is not. You are learning how to tell the difference by how it feels in your body. Wisdom feels steady. Fear feels tight. Pay attention to that signal. I am not sending you forward unprotected. I am sending you forward equipped with discernment. Equipped with clarity, equipped with the ability to pause when needed and proceed when aligned. You will not miss what is meant for you by moving thoughtfully. You will not lose yourself by trusting growth. Growth requires trust, not in outcomes, but in process. Stay with this series, my child. Watch it all the way through. Each pod has been guiding you toward this point, where forward movement no longer feels threatening, but natural. What comes next will help you understand how to step into what is opening with confidence rather than caution. If something in you is ready to move forward without letting fear from the past hold you back, type release and let it mark your willingness to trust who you have become. I am with you, walking ahead, guiding you forward. My child, stay with me. Do not tighten your grip right now. What I am inviting you into requires openness, not force. There comes a moment when you realize how often you reached for control simply to feel safe. You planned carefully. You anticipated outcomes. You prepared for every possibility. Control helped you navigate uncertainty when trust felt risky. It gave you a sense of order when things felt unpredictable. But control has limits. Control manages outcomes. Peace sustains you through them. I am teaching you how to choose peace even when control feels available. Not because control is always wrong, but because relying on it too heavily exhausts you. You were never meant to carry the weight of every possible outcome. You have felt that weight. You noticed how your body tightened when plans were unclear, how your mind raced when answers were delayed, how your spirit grew restless when you could not predict what came next. Those reactions were not failures. They were signals that it was time to learn a different way. Peace is not passivity. Peace is trust practiced daily. Choosing peace does not mean you stop planning. It means you stop obsessing. It means you plan responsibly. Then release the need to manage what unfolds beyond your reach. This release does not make you careless. It makes you resilient. Resilience grows when you stop fighting uncertainty. You may feel an urge to step in and fix things before they become uncomfortable. That urge is familiar. It once protected you, but now it interrupts growth. I am asking you to notice the urge without obeying it automatically. Notice. Pause. Choose differently. Choosing peace may feel unfamiliar at first. Peace does not rush. Peace does not argue. Peace does not demand immediate certainty. It sits with unanswered questions without letting them dominate your thoughts. This takes practice. You may worry that choosing peace means missing opportunities or letting things fall apart. But peace does not prevent action. It refines it. Actions taken from peace are clearer, steadier, and more effective. Action taken from fear creates more fear. Action taken from peace creates alignment. You are learning to sense the difference in your body. Control feels tight, urgent, and pressured. Peace feels open, steady, and grounded. When you feel that steadiness, you are aligned, even if the situation is unresolved. Alignment matters more than resolution. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility. I am asking you to release the belief that responsibility requires anxiety. You can care deeply without being consumed. You can act wisely without being driven by fear. This balance is maturing within you. As you practice choosing peace, you may notice that some things resolve themselves without your intervention. Conversations unfold naturally. Decisions clarify with time. Solutions emerge without force. This does not mean your involvement was unnecessary. It means your restraint created space. Space allows clarity to arrive. You may also notice resistance from within. Old habits do not dissolve quietly. They question you. They warn you. They remind you of past pain. Acknowledge them without letting them lead. You are not ignoring experience. You are integrating it. Integration turns lessons into wisdom. Peace does not deny difficulty. It meets difficulty without panic. It allows you to remain present rather than reactive. Presence keeps you responsive to guidance rather than trapped in mental loops. You are learning to remain present. This presence will serve you when outcomes are uncertain, when timelines shift, when expectations change. Instead of scrambling to regain control, you will return to peace and respond thoughtfully. Thoughtful responses preserve energy. You may find that choosing peace changes how you relate to others. You listen more, you interrupt less, you feel less compelled to persuade. You trust that truth does not need force to stand. Truth stands on its own. I am shaping a life for you that is not ruled by anxiety. A life where decisions are guided by clarity rather than urgency. A life where peace is not postponed until everything is resolved, but practiced while things are still unfolding. This is a different way of living. You may still choose control at times. That does not undo your growth. Awareness allows you to return to peace more quickly. Each return strengthens the habit. Habits shape lives. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is teaching you how to live with steadiness in a world that rewards urgency. What comes next will help you understand how choosing peace reshapes your confidence and your courage. If something within you feels ready to loosen its grip and choose peace more often, type peace and let it mark your willingness to trust without controlling. I am with you, guiding gently, teaching patiently. My child, stay with me. Let these words settle slowly. What I am restoring in you now is meant to be quiet, steady, and true. There was a time when confidence felt natural to you, before comparison crept in, before disappointment taught you to question yourself, before mistakes made you cautious. Over time, confidence became guarded. You learned to hold back, not because you lacked ability, but because you feared missteps, judgment, or repeating old pain. I am restoring confidence now, but not the kind that shouts. This confidence does not need applause. It does not demand validation. It does not rise by diminishing others. It stands calmly because it knows where it is rooted. You have confused confidence with certainty in the past. You believed that to be confident, you needed all the answers, flawless timing, and visible success. But true confidence does not require certainty. It requires alignment. Alignment with truth, with integrity, with the person you are becoming. You are learning this now. As peace has grown, confidence has followed. Not loud confidence, not hurried confidence, but confidence that feels like steadiness in your body. You trust your ability to pause. You trust your discernment. You trust that you can adapt if things change. Adaptability is confidence matured. I am removing the need for you to prove yourself. Proving drains you. It keeps you focused on perception rather than purpose. Confidence rooted in truth does not argue for its worth. It simply acts with integrity and allows results to speak. You may notice that you feel less defensive, less reactive to opinions, less shaken by feedback. This is not indifference. It is security. Security allows you to listen without being threatened. Threatened confidence collapses under scrutiny. Grounded confidence remains open. You are becoming grounded. I am also healing places where confidence was replaced by self-doubt. Moments when you questioned your instincts because others disagreed. Times when you ignored inner knowing to keep peace. These moments taught you caution, but they also blurred your trust in yourself. That trust is returning. You are beginning to recognize when doubt is wisdom asking you to slow down, and when doubt is fear trying to hold you back. This distinction is important. Wisdom refines confidence. Fear erodes it. I am teaching you to tell the difference. You may still feel hesitant at times. Hesitation does not negate confidence. It can be part of it. Confident people consider before acting. They do not rush to appear decisive. They value alignment more than appearance. Appearance fades. Alignment endures. As confidence is restored, you may notice changes in how you speak. You choose words more carefully. You explain less. You listen more. You trust that you do not need to convince everyone to remain true to yourself. This quiet assurance will serve you well. I am not making you rigid. I am making you secure. Secure people are flexible. They adjust without losing themselves. They receive correction without shame. They accept praise without inflation. Balance comes from confidence, rooted in truth. You may remember times when confidence tipped into self-reliance, where you carried everything alone. That was not strength. That was isolation. The confidence I am restoring includes humility. It recognizes when to ask for help. It knows when collaboration strengthens rather than weakens. This confidence connects rather than isolates. You are learning that confidence does not mean never doubting. It means knowing how to return to truth when doubt arises. It means trusting your capacity to learn, grow, and correct without collapsing. This trust frees you. As this restoration continues, you will notice that opportunities no longer intimidate you the same way. You may still feel nervous, but not paralyzed. You will approach new spaces with curiosity rather than fear. Fear narrows vision. Confidence expands it. I am not inflating you beyond reality. I am aligning you with it. You are capable. You are learning. You are grounded. These truths can coexist without arrogance. Arrogance overestimates. Confidence understands. You understand more now about yourself, about timing, about discernment. This understanding supports confidence that is resilient rather than fragile. Fragile confidence breaks under pressure. Resilient confidence adapts. I am restoring resilience. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is strengthening a different aspect of your inner life so that you can move forward whole. What comes next will help you understand how this confidence supports courage when action is required. If something within you feels steadier, less defensive, and more assured than before, type confident and let it mark this quiet restoration. I am with you, restoring gently, strengthening faithfully. My child, stay with me. Let your heart remain open and steady. What I am shaping in you now is courage, but not the kind you were taught to admire. You learned to associate courage with force, with bold moves, loud declarations, fearless appearances. You were shown images of courage that demanded attention, that proved strength through intensity. And while there is a place for boldness, that is not the courage I am forming in you now. I am teaching you courage that is calm. Calm courage does not rush into danger to prove itself. It does not speak simply to be heard. It does not react just to feel powerful. Calm courage moves with clarity, grounded in truth, aware of its purpose. This courage does not announce itself. It reveals itself through consistency. You may notice that you are less interested in dramatic gestures. You do not feel the same pull to convince others of your strength. You are more comfortable letting your actions unfold quietly. This is not hesitation. It is courage refined. Refined courage knows when to move and when to wait. You have already practiced this courage without realizing it. Each time you chose honesty over approval. Each time you paused instead of reacting. Each time you set a boundary without explanation. These moments did not feel heroic, but they required courage. Courage often feels ordinary while it is happening. I am teaching you that courage does not require the absence of fear. It requires clarity greater than fear. Fear may still speak. It may still suggest caution, but it no longer decides for you. You decide now. This decision-making feels different than before. You do not force yourself forward to escape discomfort. You sit with discomfort long enough to understand it. Then you move, not away from fear, but toward alignment. Alignment guides courage. You may remember times when you pushed yourself into situations simply to prove you could handle them. That was endurance, not courage. Endurance without wisdom leads to exhaustion. Courage guided by truth leads to growth. Growth that lasts is rarely dramatic. I am also teaching you courage in restraint. The courage to say no without guilt. The courage to disengage from arguments that drain you. The courage to rest when the world demands productivity. These choices are not celebrated publicly, but they are foundational. Foundations are built quietly. You may notice that when you choose this kind of courage, you feel steadier afterward, not energized by adrenaline, but grounded in peace. That steadiness is your confirmation. Peace follows courage, rooted in truth. I know you sometimes worry that calm courage will be mistaken for weakness, that others may not recognize your strength if it is not loud. But strength that depends on recognition is fragile. Strength that stands without it is resilient. Resilience is what you are gaining. You are learning that courage does not require confrontation to be real. Sometimes courage is staying present when you want to escape. Sometimes it is listening when you want to defend. Sometimes it is trusting when you want to control. These moments shape character. I am preparing you for situations where calm courage will matter more than bold declarations. Situations where your steadiness will influence others more than words. Situations where your ability to remain grounded will be a source of reassurance. Reassurance is powerful. You may feel moments when old habits urge you to act quickly, to prove yourself, to speak before listening. When that happens, pause. Ask yourself what alignment requires. Calm courage will guide you toward the answer. Courage guided by alignment protects your peace. I am not removing passion from you. I am anchoring it. Passion without grounding burns out. Passion anchored in truth sustains effort over time. You will still feel enthusiasm. You will still feel conviction. But you will express them with intention rather than impulse. This is maturity shaping courage. As you continue, you may notice that fear loses its intensity. It may still appear, but it no longer overwhelms. You acknowledge it, then return to clarity. This ability is not accidental. It is the result of learning to choose courage that is calm. Calm courage does not impress. It endures. You are becoming someone who endures without hardening, who acts without rushing, who stands without shouting. This is a rare strength, and it is deeply needed. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is preparing you to live with integrity in moments that test you quietly rather than publicly. What comes next will help you understand how this calm courage supports compassion without compromising truth. If something within you recognizes that courage is becoming steadier and less reactive, type brave and let it mark your commitment to move with calm conviction. I am with you, strengthening gently, guiding faithfully. My child, stay with me. Let your heart soften, but do not let it scatter. What I am teaching you now is how to love deeply without disappearing. You have always cared. You noticed what others missed. You felt responsibility where others felt distance. Compassion came naturally to you, but it often came at a cost. You gave understanding when you needed it yourself. You extended grace even when you were depleted. You stayed longer than you should have because you did not want to abandon anyone. That compassion was sincere, but it was not always sustainable. I am not taking compassion away from you. I am teaching you how to hold it with wisdom. Compassion without boundaries becomes exhaustion. Compassion without clarity turns into self-neglect. Compassion without discernment slowly teaches you to ignore your own needs. I never asked you to do that. Love does not require self-erasure. You are learning now that caring for others does not mean carrying them. You can listen without absorbing. You can support without rescuing. You can empathize without taking responsibility for what is not yours to fix. This is not coldness. This is maturity. You may notice that your compassion feels different now. It is calmer, less urgent, less reactive. You do not rush to solve every problem. You pause. You listen. You respond thoughtfully. This does not mean you care less. It means you are caring with clarity. Clarity protects compassion. I know you once feared that boundaries would make you selfish, that choosing yourself would harm others. But boundaries do not block love. They guide it. They ensure that what you give is genuine rather than resentful. Resentment grows where boundaries are ignored. You are learning to recognize when compassion is invited and when it is assumed. Not every request deserves the same response. Not every need is yours to meet. Discernment helps you choose how to love wisely. Wise love lasts longer. You may feel discomfort as you practice this. Old patterns resist change. Guilt may surface when you say no. Doubt may question your intentions. Do not let these feelings dictate your choices. Feelings inform you, but they do not have to lead you. Truth leads gently. I am teaching you that you are allowed to step back without abandoning kindness. You are allowed to rest without losing empathy. You are allowed to choose peace without withdrawing care. Peace makes compassion sustainable. As you grow in this understanding, you will notice that your relationships shift. Some deepen because they are built on mutual respect. Others change because they relied on your overextension. These changes are not failures. They are alignment revealing truth. Truth simplifies connection. You may still grieve certain changes. That grief is natural. It honors what mattered. But do not mistake grief for regret. You are not wrong for choosing balance. You are becoming whole. Wholeness strengthens love. I am also teaching you compassion toward yourself. You have been patient with others while being harsh with yourself. You excused mistakes you would never forgive in your own life. This imbalance created inner tension. I am restoring balance. Speak to yourself with the same gentleness you offer others. Allow yourself the same learning curve. Extend grace inward as freely as you extend it outward. This inward compassion does not weaken you. It stabilizes you. Stable people love better. You may notice that as you practice self-compassion, shame loosens its grip. Shame thrives on self-judgment. Compassion interrupts that cycle. When shame quiets, clarity emerges. Clarity restores dignity. I am not asking you to stop caring deeply. I am asking you to care deeply without losing yourself, to love without self-betrayal, to give without depletion, to remain present without being consumed. This is balanced compassion. Balanced compassion listens first. It does not assume responsibility where none exists. It respects limits without hardening the heart. It responds from alignment rather than obligation. This kind of compassion heals without harming. You will encounter situations where old habits tempt you to overextend. When that happens, pause. Ask what love requires, not what guilt demands. Love guided by truth will not ask you to disappear. You matter too. As you continue this journey, you will find that compassion becomes lighter, more joyful, less draining. You will give freely without feeling emptied. You will receive without feeling undeserving. This is freedom within love. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is teaching you how to live fully strong, yet gentle, compassionate, yet grounded. What comes next will help you understand how this balanced compassion shapes leadership, influence, and purpose. If something within you recognizes that compassion is becoming healthier and more sustainable, type compassion and let it mark your commitment to love without losing yourself. I am with you, teaching patiently, guiding lovingly. My child, stay with me. Let your shoulders relax as you listen. What I am teaching you now will change how you carry responsibility. You have always felt a quiet sense of responsibility, not because someone assigned it to you, but because you noticed what needed care. You stepped in when others hesitated. You filled gaps without being asked. Over time, leadership became something you carried internally, even when no one named it. But leadership carried alone becomes heavy. I am not removing your sense of responsibility. I am teaching you how to lead without carrying everything by yourself. You were never meant to hold every outcome, manage every detail, or absorb every burden. True leadership is not control. It is alignment. It is knowing when to step forward and when to step back. It is understanding that influence does not require exhaustion. You are learning this now. You may have believed that if you did not carry everything, something would fall apart. That belief came from care, not pride. But care without boundaries turns into strain. Strain clouds judgment and limits vision. Clear leaders see more because they carry less. I am teaching you to trust that others can carry their portion, that not every responsibility belongs to you, that releasing control does not mean abandoning care. It means honoring design. Design includes shared weight. You may notice that you feel less compelled to fix things immediately. You are more willing to allow others to find their footing. This does not mean you are disengaged. It means you are discerning where your presence is most effective. Effectiveness grows when energy is focused. I am also teaching you humility that strengthens leadership. Humility does not shrink you. It frees you. It allows you to ask for help without shame, to delegate without guilt, to rest without fear that everything depends on you. Nothing depends solely on you. That truth may feel unsettling at first. You have been reliable for so long that releasing weight feels risky. But leadership that depends on one person eventually collapses. Leadership that empowers others multiplies. Multiplication requires trust. You are learning to trust not only others, but the process unfolding around you. You do not have to manage every outcome to be faithful. You do not have to anticipate every problem to be wise. You need to remain attentive, responsive, and grounded. Grounded leaders endure. You may also notice that leadership is showing up in quieter ways now, through listening rather than directing, through presence rather than pressure, through example rather than instruction. This form of leadership does not dominate, it influences. Influence lasts longer than control. I am preparing you for roles where your steadiness will matter more than your speed, where your clarity will matter more than your volume, where your ability to remain calm will guide others more than commands ever could. This is leadership rooted in integrity. You may feel moments of uncertainty as you shift how you lead. Old patterns urge you to step in too quickly. When that happens, pause. Ask what alignment requires. Often, alignment invites patience. Patience creates space for growth. I am also teaching you to recognize when leadership is not required. Not every situation needs your guidance. Not every group needs your voice. Knowing when to step back is as important as knowing when to step forward. Discernment protects leadership from burnout. As you practice this, you will feel lighter. Not because responsibility disappeared, but because it is being carried appropriately. You will notice that your energy lasts longer. Your joy returns more easily. Your decisions feel less pressured. This is sustainable leadership. You are not becoming less responsible. You are becoming more effective. Effective leadership does not measure success by how much you carry. It measures success by how well things function when weight is shared. Shared weight strengthens community. I am shaping you into someone who leads with presence rather than pressure. Someone who inspires trust rather than fear. Someone who models balance rather than burnout. This kind of leadership is rare, and it is needed. You may still face moments when you feel tempted to take everything back on yourself. Old habits do not disappear quietly. When that happens, return to what you know. You are not alone. You are not responsible for everything. You are allowed to trust others. Trust deepens leadership. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is preparing you to live fully and lead wisely without losing yourself. What comes next will help you understand how leadership rooted in alignment opens doors you could not force open alone. If something within you recognizes that leadership is becoming lighter and more aligned, type lead, and let it mark your willingness to lead without carrying everything alone. I am with you, guiding steadily, strengthening wisely. My child, stay with me. Let this settle gently within you. What I am teaching you now will bring clarity to your decisions and peace to your days. There was a time when saying yes felt safer than saying no. You agreed to things to keep harmony. You accepted responsibilities to avoid disappointment. You stayed available even when your energy was low, because you feared that refusing would mean letting someone down. Over time, your yes became automatic, and your no became hesitant. That imbalance tired you. I am teaching you now that your yes and your no both matter. They are not opposing forces. They are tools of alignment. When used honestly, they protect your peace and honor your capacity. A truthful yes is powerful. A clear no is kind. You may have been taught that saying no is selfish, that it signals lack of commitment or care, but saying no to what misaligns allows you to say yes to what truly matters. A no spoken with integrity prevents resentment. A yes spoken without alignment creates it. I am teaching you to choose alignment over obligation. You may notice that decisions feel different now. You pause before responding. You check in with yourself. You listen for steadiness rather than pressure. This is not indecision. It is discernment honoring your limits. Limits are not weaknesses. They are guides. You have learned through experience that agreeing to everything scattered your energy. It left you feeling pulled in too many directions. It diluted your focus and diminished your joy. I am not asking you to withdraw from responsibility. I am asking you to choose it intentionally. Intentional choices strengthen you. You are learning to sense when a yes comes from peace and when it comes from fear. Fear-based yeses sound urgent. They come with tightness and anxiety. Peace-based yeses feel steady. They allow you to commit without losing yourself. Listen to that difference. I am also teaching you that a no does not require justification. You do not owe everyone an explanation. You can be respectful without over-explaining. You can be kind without convincing. Clarity does not need defense. You may feel discomfort as you practice this. Old patterns resist change. Guilt may rise when you choose differently. That guilt does not mean you are raw. It means you are learning to step out of habits that once kept you safe, but now keep you small. You are not meant to live small. As you honor your yes and your no, you will notice changes. Your schedule becomes lighter. Your focus sharpens. Your energy returns. You feel more present in the commitments you keep because you chose them freely. Freedom deepens commitment. You may also notice how others respond. Some will respect your clarity immediately. Others may test it. This is not your responsibility to manage. You are not here to control reactions. You are here to remain aligned. Alignment steadies you even when responses vary. I am teaching you that trust grows when you honor your inner signals. Each time you say yes to what aligns, trust strengthens. Each time you say no to what does not, confidence grows. Over time, decision-making becomes simpler, not because life is easier, but because you are clearer. Clarity reduces inner conflict. You may remember times when you ignored your inner knowing and later felt the cost. Those memories are not meant to shame you. They are meant to inform you. You learned. You adjusted. Now you are choosing differently. That is growth. I am also teaching you to accept others' no without taking it personally. Just as you are learning to honor your limits, others are learning to honor theirs. Respecting boundaries creates healthier connections. Healthy connections sustain you. You are allowed to change your mind when clarity changes. You are allowed to revise commitments when alignment shifts. This is not inconsistency. It is responsiveness to truth. Truth evolves as awareness deepens. As you continue, you will feel less pressure to decide immediately. You will feel comfortable asking for time. You will recognize that urgency is rarely required for aligned choices. Patience allows wisdom to surface. Wisdom chooses well. I am not asking you to become rigid. I am asking you to become honest. Honest about your capacity. Honest about your priorities. Honest about what you can give without depleting yourself. Honesty brings peace. There will still be moments when you say yes, and it stretches you. Stretching can be healthy when it aligns with growth. The difference is that now, stretching is chosen, not imposed. Chosen stretching strengthens. Imposed stretching drains. You are learning the difference. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is equipping you to live with integrity in your choices so that your days feel aligned rather than scattered. What comes next will help you understand how honoring your yes and your no reshapes your relationships and your sense of freedom. If something within you feels ready to trust your inner clarity and honor both your yes and your no, type align. And let it mark your commitment to choose with honesty and peace. I am with you, guiding gently, clarifying faithfully. My child, stay with me. Do not tighten your grip as you listen. What I am inviting you into now will free you. You have learned how to hold on. You learned it early. You held on to relationships, roles, expectations, plans, and even versions of yourself because letting go felt like loss. Holding on gave you a sense of control. It made you feel responsible, loyal, committed. And those qualities were not wrong, but they were incomplete. I am now teaching you how to let go without fear. Letting go is not abandonment. Letting go is discernment in motion. You have been afraid that releasing something means you failed, that if you let go, it proves you didn't try hard enough or cared deeply enough. But caring does not require clinging. Trying does not require exhaustion. Some things are meant to be held for a season, not forever. You are learning to recognize the difference. There are things in your life that once fit you well. They helped you grow. They shaped you. They taught you lessons you needed at the time. But growth changes shape. What once supported you may now restrict you. Holding on past alignment creates strain, not stability. Strain is a signal. I am teaching you to listen to that signal without guilt, to recognize when something no longer aligns without blaming yourself, to release without needing a dramatic ending or perfect explanation. Release can be quiet. You may feel resistance rising as you consider letting go. Your mind will remind you of effort invested, of time spent, of identity built around what you are releasing. That resistance is understandable. But effort does not require permanence to be meaningful. Time spent is not wasted because it ended. Nothing honest is wasted. You are not erasing the past by letting go. You are honoring it by acknowledging that it has fulfilled its purpose. Gratitude does not require attachment. Appreciation does not require continuation. You are allowed to move on without resentment. I know you worry about what will happen after you let go. The unknown feels unsettling. Familiar discomfort feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. But familiarity is not safety. Alignment is. Alignment creates peace, even in uncertainty. I am not asking you to let go of everything at once. Letting go happens in layers. First, you acknowledge the weight. Then, you question whether it is still yours to carry. Then, you release it gradually, with intention rather than force. This is how fear loosens its grip. You may notice that as you let go, space opens. At first, that space may feel empty. Do not rush to fill it. Space is not lack. Space is invitation. It allows clarity, creativity, and renewal to enter. New things require room. I am also teaching you that letting go does not always mean walking away physically. Sometimes it means releasing expectations. Sometimes it means loosening emotional attachment. Sometimes it means changing how much energy you invest. Release takes many forms. You are learning to choose release not from frustration, but from wisdom. From an understanding that holding on too tightly prevents growth. From a desire to remain aligned rather than comfortable. Comfort does not always equal peace. As you practice letting go, you will notice a lightness returning. Decisions feel simpler. Emotions feel less heavy. You are not constantly managing or maintaining what drains you. This lightness is not irresponsibility. It is relief. Relief restores energy. You may still feel moments of sadness as you release. Sadness honors what mattered. Allow it without interpreting it as regret. Grief and growth often coexist. Feeling both does not mean you are confused. It means you are human. I am with you in that humanity. I am also teaching you to trust that what leaves makes room for what aligns. This does not mean replacement happens immediately. Sometimes space exists for a while. That space allows you to reset your pace, recalibrate your values, and recognize what you truly want. Wanting clarity is not selfish. You have been holding some things together through sheer will. That effort has cost you peace. Letting go allows peace to return without effort. It feels unfamiliar at first, but it becomes natural. Natural alignment feels gentle. You will know when letting go is right, because it brings steadiness rather than panic. It may feel emotional, but it will not feel chaotic. Fear creates chaos. Alignment creates calm. Pay attention to that difference. As you continue this journey, you will become more comfortable releasing what no longer fits, not because you care less, but because you trust more. Trust timing, trust growth, trust yourself. Trust makes release possible. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is helping you loosen fear's grip so that you can move forward lighter and freer. What comes next will help you understand how letting go prepares you to receive what aligns without force. If something within you feels ready to release what no longer serves you without fear, type "released" and let it mark your willingness to move forward lighter. I am with you, guiding gently, freeing patiently. My child, stay with me. Do not lean forward in effort right now. What I am teaching you requires openness, not striving. You have learned how to work for things, how to push, plan, persist, and endure. Striving became familiar because it made you feel responsible for outcomes. You believed that if you did not push, nothing would move. If you did not try harder, things would slip away. That mindset helped you survive seasons that demanded effort. But survival is not the same as receiving. I am teaching you now how to receive without striving. Receiving feels vulnerable because it asks you to trust that you do not have to earn everything through exhaustion. It asks you to believe that some things come because you are aligned, not because you force them into existence. This is a difficult lesson for you. You equated effort with worth. You measured value by productivity. You believed rest had to be justified and ease had to be deserved. Those beliefs shaped how you moved through life, but they also kept you tense, even in moments meant to be joyful. I want to free you from that tension. Receiving does not make you passive. Receiving makes you available. You are learning that not every blessing arrives through struggle. Some arrive through timing. Some arrive through surrender. Some arrive because the work was already done internally, and now the outer expression is ready to unfold. You may feel uncomfortable when things come easily. Your first instinct may be to question them, to prepare for loss, to assume there is a hidden cost. That instinct was shaped by past experiences, not by present truth. The present is different. You are different. I am teaching you to notice when effort is no longer required, to recognize when pushing adds strain instead of progress, to trust that what aligns will not demand constant proving. Proving exhausts. Receiving restores. This does not mean you stop participating in your life. It means you stop forcing outcomes that are already forming. You show up with intention, but you release the need to control every step. Control tightens your grip. Trust opens your hands. You may worry that if you stop striving, you will become complacent. That is not what happens when trust replaces striving. Trust sharpens awareness. It allows you to respond when guidance comes, instead of constantly searching for direction. Guidance arrives more clearly when you are not frantic. I am also teaching you to receive support. You have been independent for a long time. You learned to rely on yourself because you could not always count on others. Independence became strength, but it also became isolation. Receiving support does not weaken you. It balances you. You are allowed to accept help without feeling indebted. You are allowed to receive kindness without suspicion. You are allowed to be supported without questioning your worth. Worth is not earned through exhaustion. You may notice resistance when you try to rest into receiving. Thoughts telling you that you should be doing more, proving more, earning more. Those thoughts come from old patterns. Acknowledge them without obeying them. You are learning a new way. As you practice receiving, you will notice a subtle shift. Your body relaxes more easily. Your mind quiets sooner. Your joy feels less guarded. You allow good moments to be good without bracing for loss. This is healing. I am not removing effort from your life. I am removing unnecessary strain. There is a difference. Effort aligned with purpose feels energizing. Strain driven by fear feels draining. You are learning to tell the difference. You may also notice that when you stop striving, clarity arrives more naturally. You are no longer forcing answers. You are listening. You are present. Presence allows insight to surface without pressure. Pressure blocks insight. I am teaching you to trust the unfolding, to recognize that not everything needs your constant involvement. Some things move forward because alignment allows them to. Alignment does the work that striving cannot. You will still take action. You will still make choices, but those actions will come from steadiness rather than urgency. They will feel timely rather than forced. Timely action feels right even when it stretches you. You are allowed to enjoy what comes without immediately preparing for its loss. You are allowed to receive without apologizing. You are allowed to experience ease without guilt. Ease is not laziness. Ease is alignment in motion. I know this lesson challenges old beliefs. Be patient with yourself as you practice it. You are not undoing effort. You are integrating trust. Trust allows receiving. Stay with this series, my child. Each part is gently releasing you from patterns that no longer serve you. What comes next will help you understand how receiving prepares you to step fully into what is next without fear or force. If something within you feels ready to open your hands and receive without striving, type open and let it mark your willingness to trust alignment over effort. I am with you, giving gently, teaching patiently. My child, stay with me for these final moments. Do not rush away yet. This is not an ending. It is a ceiling. Everything you have listened to, every moment you stayed, every quiet realization that settled in your heart was not accidental. You were not drawn here by curiosity alone. You were led here because something within you was ready to remember truth. You have walked through stillness. You have learned to release fear. You have learned to trust timing. You have learned to listen without noise. And now you are ready to move forward. Not hurried, not pressured, not unsure. Ready in a quieter way. There was a time when moving forward felt heavy. You questioned yourself constantly. You wondered if you were missing something, if you were late, if you were prepared enough. You carried fear with every step, believing it was protection. But fear was never meant to lead you. What leads you now is awareness. What steadies you now is alignment. What guides you now is trust. You are no longer the person who began this journey, not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped abandoning yourself along the way. You learned how to pause, how to listen, how to choose peace over pressure. That is growth. I want you to understand this clearly before you go forward. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need certainty to take the next step. You do not need approval to walk in truth. You only need to remain honest. Honest with yourself. Honest about your limits. Honest about what aligns and what does not. You have learned how to return to stillness when confusion arises. You have learned how to release what no longer fits without guilt. You have learned how to receive without striving. These lessons will walk with you into what comes next. You are not leaving guidance behind. You are carrying it within you. There will be moments ahead when life becomes loud again. Expectations will rise. Decisions will demand attention. Opinions will surround you. When that happens, remember this. Clarity does not come from noise. It comes from returning to what steadies you. Return to presence. Return to alignment. Return to peace. Peace will not remove challenges, but it will change how you meet them. You will respond instead of react. You will choose instead of panic. You will move with intention rather than urgency. That is the life you are stepping into. You may still feel nervous at times. That does not mean you are unready. It means you care. Courage does not eliminate nervousness. It moves with integrity despite it. You are capable of that now. Do not look back wondering if you did enough. Do not look ahead fearing what you cannot yet see. Stay where your feet are and take the next honest step. The path will meet you as you walk. And my child, know this deeply, you were never meant to walk alone. Not in your waiting, not in your growth, not in your becoming. Every quiet moment shaped you. Every pause strengthened you. Every lesson prepared you. Nothing was wasted. As this series comes to a close, I want to speak one final reassurance into your heart. You are exactly where you need to be to continue forward. Not behind, not lost, not unprepared, aligned. If these messages have brought you peace, clarity, or comfort, if they helped you feel seen, grounded, or less alone, allow others to find this same quiet place. You may like and share this message so someone else can receive reassurance. You may join this community to continue walking in reflection and growth together. And if these words truly encouraged your heart and you feel happy with what you've received, you may offer super thanks as a way of supporting this work. Only if it feels right for you. Nothing here was demanded. Everything here was offered. Now, go forward gently. Go forward honestly. Go forward without fear leading you. And if you are ready to continue your life with clarity, peace, and trust, type forward. Not for anyone else, but as a quiet acknowledgement that you are stepping ahead with awareness rather than anxiety. I am with you. I always have been, and I will continue to guide you step by step. Amen.